Is Tyra Banks a villain? One of the pillars of the 2000-2010 TV show Model was, well, the model producing reality TV series, America's Next Top Model. Use that word too much already. It was a legitimate tour de force when it came to ratings, and people loved to watch it. Let me just start by also saying, I recognize I was not exactly the key demographic for the show. I typically dislike reality TV. My sisters love that show. Me, yeah, not so much. But I can binge watch a documentary overnight very quickly. This docuseries included not only the models, but also the big three judges in Miss J, J. Manuel, and Nigel Barker, alongside Tyra Banks, of all people, the actual, I would say, the face of the show. Bear in mind, this documentary isn't favorable to Tyra. It's not like it's The Last Dance where Michael Jordan had the final say on the cut of the series. Now, why did she not get creative control? Because, well, they were going to make the series with or without her. I think she just wanted to come on to try and control the narrative on some level and try to spin it to where she doesn't look so bad. And it really worked against her. The world of reality TV is ugly and messy, and maybe that's why I don't like it. The original concept of the show was arguably a noble one. The idea of taking 8 to 15 women who want to be models. Hopefully, a diverse group of people who may not have had this opportunity otherwise, and teach them the skills, and each week eliminate one of them until you have one winner who should, in theory, possess all the tools necessary to really kickstart her career, along with mainstream media attention. But that isn't what sells on TV, is it? It's the drama, the backstabbing, and the fighting. It's the producers whispering into a girl's ear, so-and-so doesn't like you, or so-and-so is so fake, just to stir the pot and cause more and more drama. There's also this stench across the entire documentary of the lack of accountability. No one says it outright. They always just say it was the way things were back then, but we should have been better. No one ever says that. It's always that's just the way things were. It's simply a sign of the times, or was it my idea, passing along the blame? And let me be clear, there were a lot of things wrong with this show even at the time. To start, the body shaming was horrible. Telling a skinny girl who's all skin and bone that she has to lose 10 pounds, like the body shaming is terrible. Also, let's add making them do blackface and race swapping, and also exploiting models' fears with animals and insects. One of the front-running contestants, a front-runner in season 2, I believe, Shanti, who was in a committed relationship at the time, got drunk in Italy and went to the restroom with a guy. They hooked up there and on the bed, all while people were watching and recording the entire incident. Nobody thought to stop the filming and say, hey, she's drunk, she can't consent. The judges and the producers, including Tyra, were like, yeah, I can't believe it, but again, that was just the time. I mean, really? That's the moral standard? A girl who couldn't consent is filmed on camera having sex and no one stepped in? They also aired the fight she had with her boyfriend and them breaking up. There's also not one, but 2 young ladies who undergo surgery to correct their smiles. They did this face-altering surgery, messing with their teeth and stuff, and then were thrown back out to model through the tears and cry to use their pain in their actual, modeling, which I don't think that transfers well. There was another contestant by the name of Ebony who had not one but 2 instances on the show. One where she was outed for being gay, I don't believe with her consent, but also when she was getting a haircut by 3 world-class hairstylists, making jokes of how tough her hair is, and half shaving her head and leaving bald spots, which is gross. On the show where Tyra Banks claims to try and make a safe place for women and help representation, we get this. It's often done under the guise of we're trying to be inclusive and break down barriers, but did they even ask if she wanted to be outed as gay in the first place? But Tyra is not to blame, guys. She helped create the show, but she had no power. She was just a producer and starred and was the face of the show, but she had no power. On top of all this, the judges might not have always been fair, as it has come out shockingly that girls were eliminated due to their lack of popularity, not necessarily because they were the worst model of that week. It's often said that they were used, worst headshots, that they had better shots in certain pictures, but they used the worst ones to justify the elimination, and then they would often use the better ones when it came to the final picture, the final shot. There are also rumors that models were not even paid for their interviews, but the judges were. So why would Tyra Banks do this? Why would she why would she appear on this docuseries? Well, apparently, she's trying to plan a comeback for her 25th season of America's Next Top Model. This quote, I think, sums it up best. Tyra Banks is a narcissist. All I heard from her throughout this entire thing that it didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, and if it was not that big of a deal, and if it is, it's not my fault, and if it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, you probably deserved it. There's a lot of issues with this show. It's a time capsule piece, definitely, for sure, but also maybe a blueprint of what not to do and what not to create and what not to make. The fact of the matter is just that we're still talking about it right now, aren't we? But we're talking about it in a negative sense. Maybe that's hope. Maybe that's a start. But I don't want to end there. I want to end on the fate of some of the models. While some of them did continue on to a modeling career, a lot of them fell back out. They just, you go home and then you were on national television and then you're just left to exist as is. And even the handful that did try to have modeling careers, some of them had issues actually getting bookings because they were on America's Next Top Model, and it's almost seemed like they were a pariah. Now, apparently there are a lot of other issues that Tyra Banks does have within the modeling industry as a whole. Although she may be seen as a titan or an icon of industry, apparently she's known to have issues with Naomi Campbell, and the show is controversial to say the least. I go in watching it with the mindset that knowing that, one, a lot of stuff that they do in this show is wrong. Go in knowing that plus size models are not a bad thing. Also go in knowing that times have gotten better. Inclusivity is important and it's working, and we need to continue to be inclusive. That said, what did you think of this docuseries? Let us know down below. We greatly appreciate it. We'll catch y'all next time. We'll see everybody.